YouTube. We're streaming live now. We're going in studio. Hey, that's him.
Business Express, brought to you by InterSwitch, transaction solutions you can depend on.
Very good morning to you and welcome back. You're listening to Smooth 98.1 at Love Music, Love Life. It's the Smooth Breakfast Show and it's time for Business Express. And of course, it's brought to you by InterSwitch. My name is Judith FTB, joining us live today via Zoom. It's a full house today. And pretty much I'm just going to reel out the numbers, introduce them, and just go sit down somewhere. Rhodas is here. Rhodas, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Judith. Good morning to everybody out there.
Good morning. And joining us live as well is Taiwo. Taiwo is back all the way from, good morning, all the way from the abroad. I'll just leave it at that. And Fisayo is here as well. We're streaming live on YouTube. Fisayo and Taiwo, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Join us live on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube at Smooth981. You can also join the conversation as well. Send us your WhatsApp messages to 0809-444-0981. It's Tech Friday. Rhodas, what's happening in our tech space in Nigeria and Africa?
Yeah, Taiwo, good to see you again. Fisayo and Judith, I think we should follow his lead and exit this place, Sabi.
Yes, just go abroad.
exit this country.
I never told you that I exited. I just told you I came here to do something. So.
And something. How many months you've been doing something?
That's why I do something.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. No, so I wanted to get you guys' thoughts. I mean, cheaper cash is a cross-border payments facility, but it looks like they are integrating tipping on Twitter for influencers. I thought that was very interesting. What do you make of companies facilitating the ability for influencers to receive money, to get tips? I mean, we saw what happened with Davido and that whole thing, but he was asking for actual raw cash to be deposited into his account. What Cheaper Cash and some other entities are doing is integrating the ability for followers to actually tip an influencer directly on social media platforms. What do you guys make of it?
I mean, prior to the Davido experience, I would have said it probably won't work, right? Because TikTok has the feature already, and it didn't seem to have, caught on specifically, right? But once the Davido thing happened, I was like, okay, this is strange. This is strange behavior. I don't know which class of people are the ones contributing the money, but people kept on contributing money and pushing. But I also think that maybe it's going to be probably tapered because the following day, I think the twins tried to get on the bandwagon, but I'm not sure how that caught on, right? So I think making it easy to tip is good, but whether or not people would tip is still, the jury is still out for that. But raising $300,000 in a couple of hours or a day, is a big indication of what will likely happen once those features are activated.
I think what Saya said, but I think it's that'll be on the top end, because if you look at some of the donations, you look at the list of donations, there were some of them that were undisclosed. I imagine that those figures were, for whatever reason, they were given. There were substantial amounts of money, but you saw like 1 million, and there were some 5 million as well in there, and so on and so forth. But I think the bigger issue is the fact that it's a euphoria of the moment thing, as in it's like, it's not something you plan to do. You don't plan to do it for 3 months or set up a business plan on how you're going to donate or give to your best entertainer, kind of thing like that. It's similar to being sprayed money at parties. It's a euphoria of the moment kind of thing. where the guy comes out and you're like, oh, the feeling music gone, man. This bedroom, a nice bedroom. I don't know whether it's still bedroom these days, but this doesn't say this guy don't give us jam, and so on and so forth. That, oh boy, make I just drop on something, make I do on something, that kind of thing. So it's on the top end. The jury is out there in terms of regular people, because I saw some people giving him 200 naira as well. Somebody gave him 5,000 naira. She mistakenly paid him, gave him 5,000 naira twice, and then said, please, she should return the other one because she mistakenly said it. But, at the end of the day, she won't show that account balance. It was only 5,000 or something. Let's say, at the end of the day, it's a euphoria of the moment thing. And that's what those platforms are built for. They're not platforms you build of where there's logical reasoning in them. I mean, look at when Twitter spats go on. People join those spats and those fights without even reading or knowing what the genesis of some of those things there. They just go and just start insulting one another, and that's so that's the thing there. So I think it's something that would be good. They would stand a lot from it there. However, when you look at TikTok and look at YouTube, they do it. A lot of the revenues are actually generated more from viewership and followership, which is being rewarded by these platforms, essentially. And I think Twitter wanted to do something similar. They started something as well to where you could, for following somebody, subscribe here to that kind of tweets, that kind of thing like that. So they started something similar as well. Yeah. So it's something that will catch on. I think that it's the evolutionary space. It's evolving because right now it's not the creators' market; it's the creators' space. They're the ones that are making those platforms tick, and everybody wants a piece of the pie. It's no longer about just vanity metrics anymore. It's now let's get more people on there doing these things now. I mean, now everybody's an artist now that has gone to school to study fine art or to study whatever it is and stuff like or to somebody who went to study music or study whatever it is and stuff. It doesn't really matter. Once you have a TikTok channel and you have a huge following, you become an authority instantly. Bam, that's it. Nobody cares what degree, what qualification you have, at the end of the day, and so on and so forth. So it's an interesting world, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing plays out.
Another thing I'm really concerned about, it's also the fact that, or I don't think that this might work for our climate. Maybe TikTokers who have huge followings that would have people in diaspora like tip them, but our culture doesn't have a tipping culture yet. So I don't think it might work, not in every case will it work in terms of like tipping your influencers. So I don't think it will work for now.
People put money down to buy cars or buy stuff for their Big Brother fans.
That is true. I take that back. Thank you. I just remembered now. I take that back. I just remembered that. I just remembered. I'm sorry.
So yeah, let's.
I mean, we can test this right there. I can just drop my account details.
I beg.
We're not doing that one. You're not saying roaches, please.
If you want to join my account, just put a comment there so I will test.
But I mean, it's just technology looking for ways of expression. I mean, if you look at one of the things that Tim Berners-Lee, the founder of the internet, said, I created it for social expression, not as a technical toy. That's one of the things I said. So it's gradually coming to its full expression. We're seeing social media or social media 2.0. Maybe that's what we're seeing right now. And it's going to keep going and evolving into different things where, in that sense. But again, it starts to blur the lines between what's really valid in this, what valid, how do you authenticate some things that are true? So those are some of the lines that blur, but it will work. I mean, it's just a function. It's just it's a function of time.
Yeah.
I think it ultimately will.
What do you guys make? I want to quickly ask you guys about Team Apt targeting a $1 billion valuation. What do you make of their latest funding round?
I mean, I think it's interesting. It's like once you have your first unicorn, you open the floodgate for unicorns, other unicorns to follow. I think it's what is happening in Nigeria. or in Africa at the moment, once you had your first unicorn, you had your second, then start having 2 in a year, then 4 in a year, then suddenly everybody just wants to become a unicorn after the next, after the Series B round, after the Series C round, and it just becomes a unicorn immediately afterwards, right? So those are issues that we've seen, but Team App has built, something very interesting that allows, agency banking to, build agency banking services across Nigeria. They're targeting maybe Pan-African expansion. They are probably the biggest agency banking network in Nigeria with a couple of thousands of agents. I mean, when I say a couple of thousand, maybe up to 30,000 or 60,000 last time I checked, right? They seem to process about 50% of sign-ups, agency time. So it's a big business, essentially, right? So targeting, everybody can, even me, I want to target to be a unicorn someday, right? But I guess that investors will probably determine how that works eventually. But I think it's something we see a lot more, not just from fintechs, but also from other verticals. But of course, fintech seems to be the leaderboard, to have the leaderboard, except for maybe Andela, that is non-fintech in the mix, right? So, but I think it's something that is good for everyone. But of course, if you want to check what the transaction volumes of some other unicorns are, and compare that with that of Team App, right? And compare that with that of Team Apps, where if you look at some like cheaper cash, that is say $2 billion, right? And compare the transaction volumes, what they do, compare that to Team Apps, you probably see that there's no major difference. Maybe the only difference is that yes, Team Apps has a major country risk, which is Nigeria, versus also cheaper that is probably operating in multiple African countries. But I think it's just the thing I expect from the founders, and I think is the next right step for everyone to target to become one.
I mean, the day that somebody broke the world record for the 100-meter race, 100-meter dash, and the day that somebody ran it under 10 seconds, before the end of that day, more people ran it under 10 seconds. And that's what happens. So once one person breaks that ceiling, the door opens up to other people at the end of the day. So, and it's good for the market because it brings in more opportunities, more funding. They're able to do more, and it just grows, and it brings more. There's more confidence in the Nigerian founder or Nigerian businesses as well. And whether we like it or not, whether by design or by mistake or whatever it is progress, and we should celebrate it. But more importantly is that the hurdles after now are going to be much more, they're going to be much more steeper and higher than, much more difficult to cross than this barrier, because we'll see many more that will come close to this, and then you start having questions again and conversations around whether these are really Nigerian companies or they, who really owns these companies at the end of the day, even though they were started by Nigerians, but who are the people that own majority, and so on and so forth, because of all the funding that they're raising, because they have to stay, it's equity based. So there will be those questions, but I hope that we can take advantage of those opportunities. I hope we can ginger the local investors, if I'm allowed to use the word ginger, so they can also bring some of their money to the table, and we can retain some of that value locally as well in that sense. So great stuff. Kudos to them, to everyone, investors and everybody. Yeah.
We have messages here. This is Yinka Bolu, and it goes, Fisayo, the warring twins united for the purpose of begging, and they got their fingers burnt because we so dragged them. When people were begging them to settle fight today, now they want to beg. P Square has never done giveaway in their lives. They have the guts to post that, let's show that 2 heads are better than 1. Both of their heads, no correct. I'm angry self. If Don Jazzy posts his account today, I will still find him small thing, but not those twins. By the way, have they even settled, Seth? We will now give them money and go back fighting. I beg. That's from Yinka. Yinka right there.
Great stuff. Taiwo, good to see you again. Besides, good stuff. Thank you so much. Yinka, you're always cracking us up. Appreciate it.
Always cracking us up. And that brings us to the very end of Business Express, brought to you by InterSwitch. Stick around, more on the other side. I'm coming up at 7:30 sharp. It's going to be time for Freshly Pressed 981. Stay with us.